Kenny here with Gardening Simplified. It's October 16th, and we're going to do a little garden tour, but today while we do it, we're going to talk about food safety. So let's get started here. When you start talking about food safety, we're going to talk about having a safe food supply, and that can mean a lot of things. Now, at the top of the garden, as you can see, we've got all our beds cleaned up, recoated with compost, ready to plant. We've still got this Victoria garden area that we've got to get ready. Now, whenever I talk about food safety, you really need to know what's in your food, and not to make you, or not to be a fear monger, because that's definitely not what I want to do. But as far as food safety, do you know what's in your food? Now, I try to be self-sustaining or self-sufficient as much as possible. We've got all our garlic in finally, got that row finished, got our onions. They're rooting in, so we'll see how well they do. Not a whole lot growing, or I say not a whole lot, but there is. We got onions and garlic. Our turmeric's doing good. But when you buy your food in the store, do you actually look at your food, and do you know what's in your food? You get a loaf of bread and look at all those ingredients on there. Now, I bake my own bread, and I have just a few ingredients, 4 ingredients. I have flour, water, yeast, and salt. That's it. And it doesn't take long to make a loaf of bread. Some might want to make it complicated. There's a lot of recipes where you don't have to do a bunch of kneading. I don't think they come out quite as nice. The texture's not quite as good, but they'd make a sandwich. We still got our watermelons growing up in there in the greenhouse. Got a couple of them hiding right in there. One's hiding behind the other one. Let me zoom back out so I don't get you too dizzy. We might have a few hiding over there. I've seen some little ones, but that's about it. Now, we do have one sitting right here. We're thinking to have to do a video on repairing the greenhouse. You can see we've got to redo these ends. Hopefully we'll get that done pretty quick. But all those ingredients and a lot of those chemicals are definitely not good for the body. The stuff that goes into them, a lot of people say, well, I can't afford to eat organic or this or that. But really, when you start getting down to it, and the cost, is your health worth saving a few dollars here, or can you rearrange your expenses and cut out a few of the wants and substitute in some good healthy food? Now, our spinach, I noticed today, just let's see, we'll zoom. Well, we'll try to zoom if we got one little spinach there, a couple little more there. They're just popping up, so it won't be long. I can see a lot of them just barely putting leaves up. So, we've just planted this, so it's well on its way. We've got our mustard greens are up, and our turnip greens. Now these are fast crops. Uh, we won't grow turnips out of these, or we might grow a few. Usually what we do is we harvest greens and then we'll thin them back and let a few of these go into turnips. After a week or so, I'll start another little spot of these. That way I'll have a supersession crop coming in. Our cilantro over here, now we cut all this out. We were going to pull it up, but we really don't have anything that we have to plant in here, so we're letting this go. But it's a good thing because our cilantro that we put in over here, as you can see, we just barely got any that held in. For some reason, I've never had a crop fail this bad, but I think I didn't get out here one day and water. You know how life gets you busy, and it drooped down real bad in a cell tray. Well, I watered it, but as you can see, that was enough that it killed most of it. Now we do have our radishes here, and there's just a couple of radishes popping up, so it won't be long, they'll be in there. But it's not only food safety, isn't only have to do with what's in your food, but is there food? And when you grow your own, you know your supply chain. Now you could have crops like this that fail, so you don't have any, and you'd have to go to a different source. But that's not always the case. Usually your crops will hang in there. You'll have something. When you want to pick you a banana pepper, you just come out here and pick what you need. Now these are getting towards the end of season. You can see a lot of leaves on the ground, so it won't be long. These will be dying back. But our broccoli and our kale's doing good. I have to get out here and treat these broccoli. Got some bugs messing with them. We have our new banana tree here. It's still alive. For those of you that watched that video when I planted it, it looked rougher. Now it looks like it's coming back. This here is the herb wormwood. I planted this. I decided I'd grow it. We have our little lettuce plants coming up, our cabbages, or I'm not even sure what I got, our Mitchahili or bok choy. There's our next broccoli. We have our cabbages over there. Got a good germination this time on our filter kraut. Our volunteer tomato, it isn't looking too happy, which we've had some cool nights, but it's probably not going to last too much longer. Up there we have our bananas. They're not really filling out. As you can see, they're a little small. They might make it. This one here is littler than those, and the next one's just now dropped its flower, so it's getting ready to start putting on bananas. But with cold weather coming in about a month, chances we might not have bananas this year. We're going to work on these beds here next. We probably didn't really have to weed them because, like I say, this year we're tilling these in and leveling out our walkways more and getting rid of a little bit of that hard pan. But we pull these weeds out to make sure that we get as many seeds as we can, even though the seeds are growing underneath. Uh, that way we don't end up, say, have some seeds as close to the top, and while we're coating them, they get on top, and then we got to deal with it. Now our echinacea, you can see it's dying back. So here tomorrow, the next day, I'll probably start a video on harvesting these roots. Like I say, these are old enough plants, so we'll get that harvested, and we'll talk about how to do that. Our sweet potatoes volunteer from after we dug. They're coming back really strong. I don't know how many sweet potatoes we'll find. We'll just have to see. This row here is got a little bit more rust. It's dying back. It's got some green, but that's mostly from the plants on the side. But we'll give these a few more weeks anyway. Still got our watermelon plants trying to come inside. We have been picking a few little watermelons. They hadn't been ripe. The vines have died and stuff. There is one I can see over there, and we've got a lot of these Seminole squash, or you might call them Seminole pumpkins, coming on here. You can see one hiding up underneath the water holes there. It's definitely got a little bit before it turns ripe, but we've got a little one ripening up right there. But they're scattered all out in here. Seminole squash is, you could say it's a winter squash. It stores good. This gives you something tasty to eat once it starts getting cooler weather. We definitely got to get in here. Looks like grass is taking over our blueberries back in here. Now this, for some reason, this one plant of this jalapeno just goes strong. The others are less than half its size, and it just keeps putting on. We come out here, try to do once a week, and that normally would be tomorrow, and we'll pick anything that's big enough, but we try to keep them before they start turning red. But this time of year, usually peppers don't grow as quick, so they get more time to develop a lot more heat. So that might be something to note if you do decide to grow peppers, that know in the slower growing time that you're not going to need as many peppers to get that same amount of heat in one of your dishes. I know I didn't say a lot about foods. I could go on and on about it, but the main thing I want to stress to those of you that say I can't grow, the only reason you can't grow is because you say you can't grow. If you take a little bit of time, make a little effort, you can grow as well as anybody else. It's easy to learn. It's easy to get assistance from a lot of other growers. They're usually happy to let you know any tips and tricks that might help you out as far as getting started gardening. But anyway, that's where we are. Since we're out here, we might as well go look in the new greenhouse and see how things are doing. Well, there's what it looks like in the new greenhouse. Look like someone needs to do some weeding around the bottom of some fruit trees. We've got our oranges coming on out here. Won't be long. We're going to definitely have to get that heater in here, because I think about another month, when I look at the long forecast, a little over a month, looks like we're going to get down to 30, or in the high 30s. So we'll want to be able to put just enough heat to keep this in good shape. Now 30 probably in here, it wouldn't get down to freezing long enough to bother these, but we want to try to keep them strong and going. If we did get too cold, you know what fruit we have that's not going to be ready for another couple months after that would probably fall off. But all our plants are doing good in here. They're adjusting good. Most of them are doing real well, coming back, enjoying the fact that they're in the ground. I can tell by my bay laurel tree. Now, when it was in the pot, it'd get a lot of these toasty leaves all the time. Now you can see it's got a lot of nice green leaves, putting out a lot of branches. It's doing real good. Our mangoes are doing good. In fact, they do the same thing. They'd start toasting up some leaves, but they're doing real good. And our banana trees are loving it. You can see us shooting out new leaf opening up. This one here is kind of a bright green. That's because it just opened up. Now, if you do have bananas, expect to get these tattered leaves like this. They'll, when the wind blows very strong and it shakes them, they'll tear apart where you see these serrations. In fact, you might have a whole lot of little narrow ones. That'd be a normal thing. But yeah, I think this greenhouse is going to work out good. Now, I use the word greenhouse. This actually, if you get technical, this is a high tunnel. But it serves the same purpose. It might not be sealed as well as a greenhouse is, but it serves to grow in a protected area or semi-protected area. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this update. Maybe we'll talk more on food safety in the future and get focused more, so I can give you a clear thought on it. But anyway, if you want to see more videos like this, of course, hit that subscribe, hit the bell, and be sure to give it a big thumbs up. That really increases my views on this. And share this video. Enjoy that gardening experience.